look at data, we want to make sure that what's being input is accurate and that it's timely. But really, I'll try to do it from the venue level on up to an expansion level. At the venue level, I want to use technology so that the staff and the managers can spend as much time on the floor next to the guest, that they've gone through, they've looked at the reservation, they've looked at the history of the guests. I eat at one of the Rockpool restaurants, I go to Rosetta, I have the Spanner crab pasta. I've eaten there 3 times, I've had the Spanner crab pasta 3 times. And they're like, please order something else. I'm like, it's what I want to eat. Interesting, the last time I went, the server said, please tell me you're not going to order the Spanner crab. But it was said in jest. I love that. But they knew the wine, and they knew that I preferred sparkling water. Is that key? We think it is. The guest has so many dining opportunities, and yet, we're the guest. Everybody wants to be recognized. The birthday is the easy one. I'm just tell you something right now, right? I mean, one of the fabulous things about Dimmy, and no plug, we love Dimmy. Having that good information, the guest is telling you what they want. You just have to read it. Somebody says, it's a really special occasion for me. It's the girl that's going to be in the blue dress that's the birthday tonight. Because, they don't want to go, hey, which one of you is Sarah, right? So they've given you that. So you've got to take that information, share it with your staff at the briefing, and then really make sure that you drive home. And then it's got to come across as it should. Hospitable, warm, personal, and engaging. And then on the backside of that, just to make sure at the end of the night that all those great notes that you've taken wind up in the guest profile again, so that the next time the guest comes back, that it's current. Because while I love the Spanner crab pasta, I may try another dish, and I may actually tell them the next time I come back, I'm going to try. Having information that can be shared timely with the people that need it the most. Quick, easy, accessible. Make sure that the teams that are supposed to have it. What's the worst thing that they do? Take your data. I'll share that at the end. We protect our data, but really somebody wants somebody, I'd love to have your database. I'm like, no, you'd actually like to have my managers, right? Because I'll tell you right now, good data is only good as just as good as the people that are out delivering it. So for us, we look for scalability, we look for usability, and then we make sure that our people know how to use it.
If you actually have your point of sale system connected with other third-party platforms, it just gives you so much more meaningful data and information. Mm-hmm. And you're not, it's not a case of being sort of reactive to it a week or a month later. It's real-time data that you can actually sit down with your team and understand the numbers, understand who your best customers are, and rewarding them. It really comes down to who is your target market. So for us, right now, it's about online ordering. Whether you're a small restaurant or whether you're more high volume phone orders. For us now, what we're seeing the trends are is more towards online ordering. If you are able to sort of put together an offering, and it doesn't necessarily need to be your full menu offering. It might just be a subset. Understanding again what are the high profit items that you've got. What is it that transports well or can be made in the morning to move away from that burst lunch traffic. So again, the data's there. It's just a matter of sitting down, and often it's not the most exciting or fun thing to do to actually go through that data.
But that's where the gold is, right?
But it's critical, yeah, absolutely.
I think what happens in restaurants is a lot of restaurants think they have to target people exactly the same way. Each person that comes in is very different. You've got customers that'll come in and dine just during lunchtime. You've got people that'll come in just on weekends for dinner. So being able to segment and filter your data to target those individuals differently is what we see as being really important. And it's data it's available for you. It's in Automate, it's in Dimmy, it's in all these various systems that are out there, and it's just a matter of trying to bring it together. And if you can automate some of these communications, like we know you're busy, you don't have hours and hours every single week to sit down and put together an email and send it out. These things can just be happening in the background for you, and don't be shy to invest in an expert who's got that expertise to help you manage that and execute that, because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to bring people back into the venue, and these are tools that are going to allow you to do that. What you're trying to do is just remind that customer that you exist, that you're there. So the next time that they're going out, they think, all right, I'll come and dine. I'll come and dine with you. So that's, I think, where we see that just that invitation can work wonders.
If you don't have the integration, then you need to come and talk to us and obviously make something happen. But manually adding a lot of notes about your customers, manually, as more as you put in, the more you get out, right? The more we'll get out to you, the more we'll get out to you, the more you can marketing to the right people.
When we first spoke to Clip, I had zero interest in using them whatsoever. And now I use Clip to manage my employee dining program. Much easier for us to manage. So that's, imagine you've got an employee dining program, no more employee IDs, no more trying to figure out, somebody's a 6-month working holiday visa. They still have an employee card. They're at one of 50 restaurants. Does Johnny or Jane really work there still? Just give them the 25% discount. It's much easier, right? So now we use Clip to actually administer our program. They got an employee ID, they show up, it logs on, says, yep, they're still working. So we use technology to make that process much simpler. There's an idea, it's called enterprise value, that each guest has an enterprise value. And so, typically, you can tell me who your, the biggest spenders are. It's that middle customer that comes in, the big spender that comes 1 day a week that spends $1,000, and the middle customer that comes 5 days a week but only spends $300. Who is your most important client and who are you servicing? So really using technology to apply an enterprise value to each one of your guests. Because quite honestly, who gets the first reservation? The person that spends $1,000. But really your most valuable customer sometimes is overlooked just because the spend is so low. We segment our business, so the head office, that necessary cost, and making sure. So I look at effectiveness for. We do have a big call center. I look at the number of calls, the number of people, and the number of missed calls, and I apply a lost revenue factor to that. And when that lost revenue factor can be made up by adding a body, I'll do that. Conversely, if I look at the number of calls, the number of bodies, and the cost of acquisition or to answer is higher, then I'll reduce and then expand our booking, so online booking for us right now. So we do heavily weigh against that. In the venue, we use technology. I've got 2 of my area managers here. They'll tell you this ad nauseum here. We use technologies to watch dining patterns. We use our third-party vendors. No plug, all right, but Dimmy, right? And I say this easily. Taking good data that you're giving you, watching customer patterns, looking where people and how people are dining, and using that information to build your rosters against that. No more guesswork. Most of this stuff, it's science, right? You know your business because it's intuitive. Use the science that's there. So we 100% do that also. When someone leaves a restaurant and you say, how was everything? If they say it's okay, you're not that good of a restaurant, right? When I hear okay, I say, okay. And somebody, no, it was amazing. Whew, okay. I thought for a second we were in a different business. Amazing, great, wonderful. Go back and look at that experience and go back and look at that perfect check. And by and large, they are perfectly aligned. So that's where using great technology, pulling data, using it for real time, training your staff and making sure that you have that opportunity works.